How's it going, guys? Jet Jock here, another week, and not a whole heck of a lot of flying. I'm not sure how the weather's been by y'all, but it's been nuts around here. We've been having gusty winds every day, rain, and now it's cold. So yeah, no flying. But that being said, we did source the parts for our Kingair, and we're finally back to work on it. As you can see back here, it's so lovely to have this on the table again. I'm sorry about my little freak out again about trying to sell this airplane. We are not going to sell it, and it's going to fly on this channel for sure. So we also did a little work on the Cessna 180. As you can see back here, it's looking a little bit different. So let's go ahead and roll that footage.
We started off by filling in all of the gaps with DAP Fasten Final. Then we came back with our sanding bar and smoothed it all out after it had dried.
Yeah, that's all we got done on the Cessna 180 this week. We just did some sanding work. It's starting to really come along. I just kind of got tired of building whenever our servos came in for the Kingair, so we just wanted to immediately jump in there and start working on it for sure. Before we get to the Kingair and the past footage that we've done this week, just to get us to this point, I wanted to have a huge shout out to Legend Hobbies for their pre-release on their Corsair. I think it's a 60cc size. Oh man, that thing is beautiful. I showed that to Beluga Girl and she was freaking out because we all know Beluga Girl's favorite airplane is the Corsair. So guys over at Legend Hobby and Seagull, that thing looks amazing. Y'all did a great job. I cannot wait to see it. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to afford it, but because we got all these other projects to finance. But anyway, good job, guys. That is a great looking model. So as you can see, we have done some more on the Kingair for sure. Maybe you can't see because it kind of looks the same, but we did well. Why not? Why should I be telling you right now? Let's roll the footage of what we did in the last week.
We started back into the Kingair by removing the flap servos and swapping them out with the servos that we had just newly sourced. Then we went ahead and plugged in the landing gear for the first time.
All right, guys, so all of that was to switch the flap servos out. We just put some of, I guess, I wouldn't say less quality, but a little bit more uncertain. We don't have to use flaps on this thing from the get-go. If they work good, then good. If not, we'll just go flapless on our first flight. But, you know, a big thing right now is I wanted to start working on the landing gear system because this is a little bit more complex than I'm used to dealing with. So we have them plugged in. Thought that I may have had the right plug for the doors, but apparently not. So what we're gonna do now is I wanna cycle the gear for y'all to show y'all the retraction on these things. It's really, really slow, but it's kind of neat. So let me get this going here and y'all can see me swing the gear for the first time. Here we go. All right, and then here we come back up. So it's gonna take some extra planning for sure whenever we're flying this, because this is a long deployment rate. Whew. But boy, does it look good. All right, and there you have it. So now we can get this thing standing on its own again, and we're gonna mess with the flaps and other things to make sure that those servos are working good and everything. So hope y'all enjoyed that update. All right, guys, so back with you again here. So we had two servos in here. I never ran them. That was probably not smart, but either one was reversed or I guess the only thing is one was reversed, or they were just back and forth the entire time. There is no servo reversing in here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to change the flap positioning on one of these servos, probably this one. I'm gonna flip it around, move the horn over, and then get them in the right direction. Because if you see right now, whenever I hit my flaps, you see they're going in different directions. So that's not great. But the good takeaway is it looks like they're in the same position, so at least the adjustments aren't gonna be too major. So I guess that's what we're gonna do for tomorrow. We're gonna come back here and switch one around, and then we'll have those two linked up. Then we'll try to maybe figure out the landing gear door situation, and then we'll work on the outboard panels as well, so stay tuned.
Because it appeared that one of the flap servos was reversed, we reoriented the right servo.
All right, guys, so y'all saw in that little fast forward segment there, we got the wing servos swapped, kinda. So now they should be, or not the wing servos, sorry, the flap servos are swapped on the inboards anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and power it up and see where we're at. Hopefully this works. So let's see. Oh, let me turn my radio on first. All right. I can already tell they're a little off, but I think we can make the adjustments there. Yep, look at that. We have flaps. This is awesome, guys. This is awesome. I was feeling really defeated about this earlier, but I think we're gonna be just fine. I'm gonna show you guys this. I mean, wow. Look at these lights. We got the lights working, and I think we have a major lead on the gear door timer. I'm gonna have to do some more digging, but here's our lower rotating beacon. We've got our strobe there. Let's see, do we have another beacon under here? Yeah, but it's not on, so probably something we just got to plug in. So this is really a nice model. It's really coming along. So I think that's going to be it for the day. We'll pick it back up tomorrow morning. We'll see ya. All right, guys, we just had a major breakthrough. I know I said I'd be back with y'all tomorrow, but I just couldn't leave well enough alone. I think I finally figured out the gear door situation. I've got all of them working except for this one, and when I went to adjust it, I broke the control horn on the servo. But that's okay. I was taking the engine pylons off, or the nacelles off anyway, because I needed to readjust them and tighten them in preparation for flight, because you can see they're still a little loose. So, so guys, check this out. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to hold this one just because, like I said, once again, it's not attached. And there you have it, guys. We've got the landing gear working. We've got the gear doors working. Like I said, I just need to get a new control horn on that one. Big day for us. And we got the flaps. I'll run them again for you. Oh, I guess I have them. That's the wrong one. There you go. See, the flaps are working too. I'm really, really excited. This thing is finally getting some traction. Tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and replace the elevator servos with the servos that we took out the flaps. And this thing's gonna just start coming along one by one, and hopefully we'll be flying really soon, so stay tuned.
We got to the shop early next morning, and we popped the wings on, we powered it up, turned off the lights in the shop, so you can see how wonderful this bird looks whenever it's all lit up. Now, we didn't get the horizontal stab lights plugged in yet, but we'll get that whenever we replace the elevator servos.
So yeah, as you can see, we got some flap servos in, and what we're doing is, because the flap servos are those nice high-tech servos that we were wanting to source, we got some of, well, I wouldn't say that they're inferior, but they're just not as high quality, and we put them on the flaps. We're gonna see how they work, if they're reliable. If not, they'll just have their purpose of holding the flaps up for our first flight where we don't have to fly with flaps. Guys that have flown this model, or Cliff, whoever out there, please tell me if I'm wrong about flying this thing without flaps if needing it. We're on a grass strip, so it should slow down fairly quick. So yeah, so that being said, as you can also see, we got the landing gear cycle going, and we have also powered up the landing gear doors. You know, this has been kind of tricky. Look at this photo right here, for example. It's just a rat nest in there. So we're just trying to, we've been spending almost all week just trying to figure out which wire goes to what, because there are so many. I almost think that the wire bundle in this airplane is the same size as a real Kingair. I mean, it's pretty crazy in there. So it's going to take us a little while just to figure out where everything is, but we've figured out the lights, we've figured out the landing gear, we've figured out the landing gear doors, we know where the ESCs are. So I think we're all down just to elevator and aileron. So once we get those servos swapped out with the good high-tech 17-gram servos, I think we'll be well underway to being able to clean this thing up. Another thing that we're going to want to do most likely is, I don't like how the nacelles keep coming loose even just from taxiing and stuff. So we're going to try first with some Loctite. We're going to actually take the whole nacelle off. That's what I was saying earlier when I was doing this landing gear test. We're not too concerned about that one gear door not closing, because we are going to go in ahead and take off the nacelles, put some Loctite on the bolts that hold them on, and hopefully that's all we need to do. Worst case scenario, we're going to have to glue the nacelles on permanently. So stay tuned for future episodes to see what we end up doing with that. But before we get to doing any finalized things like cleaning up wires, Loctiting nacelles, and other stuff like that, we just want to be able to finalize all of our systems and figure out how to get everything working inside of the airplane for sure. So that being said, let's go ahead and I'm just gonna stay with you guys here, talk with y'all while we're doing some servo swapping today. So we're gonna start on the outboard flaps on the left wing here. And yeah, let me find a screwdriver that's the right size anyway. Here we go. So we kind of ran into some trouble earlier on with the inboard servos. It looks like two of them are reversed. So I'm gonna have to figure out which ones are reversed and which ones are right, and make sure to put the right ones on the correct sides so we don't have ailerons doing anything silly. So let's get this guy out of here first. You know, I know some of you guys said the Corona servos were good, and I bet they are. The problem that we're having with the Corona servos right now are the leads are, they're loose, and it's causing intermittence on the ailerons, and that just really makes me nervous. Along, if y'all don't remember in the past episodes with the elevator, we were having, well, first of all, we were missing one, and second of all, I was having my doubts about, oh man, I can't think and talk at the same time. We were having our doubts whether the 9-gram servo was going to be enough for the tail feathers. So we're going to go ahead and replace those with these high techs as well, just because I know high techs. I've used these servos in other airplanes and they've been pretty darn bulletproof. So hopefully I don't shoot myself in the foot on that one, but let's see here. Where's a smaller screwdriver? Is this it? Yeah. All right. So I know it's been a while since the girls have been here, and I'm telling you what, that good old-fashioned time change has still got them all messed up. I don't think we can get them up before 7 o'clock now, so hopefully they'll be joining us soon, but if not, you're stuck with me working on the Kingair, which seems to be all right with you guys. So all you guys at home, I'd like to hear from you. Do y'all have any new projects that y'all started, or been flying anything cool, I would love to know in the comments section. Alright, let's see here. Let's see how easy that's going to be to slip in and out of there if I'm going to need a good old... it should be easy enough. It's a pretty straight shot. This seems like this was, oh, this was the high-tech, that's why. It's not a Corona. Okay, so let's bend that horn back into shape. All right, so there we go with that one. And we're gonna put that one directly into the wing here. All right. Oh, yeah, we got one Phillips and then one Allen wrench. And I'm thinking we don't even have to take that one off there. We'll just plop it in. And then what we'll do after the swap and we put the other servo in, we're gonna go ahead and plug it all in and we'll test it out for you guys live here. Well, and it's a good thing I looked in here. If you guys look, this, this is why you always go through used kits. As you can see, this servo right here isn't even screwed in or anything. So, like I said, guys, it's a really good thing for you to look at these kits for sure. And maybe the servo cover was enough to hold it down, and that might have just been the case, but I'm not quite certain. All right. But we do have extras of the little brackets, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Well, I think I just made things much harder for myself, but that's okay. It is what it is. All right, so just make sure that everything, and you know what, guys? It might have been the extension lead this entire time causing these Corona servos to act up. But that's another thing is, look at that. There wasn't even a bolt inside of there. So like I said, it's always good whenever you take over somebody else's project, because I mean, it's definitely not the builder's fault. I mean, he was in the middle of building this and just hadn't put it back in yet. And that's no big deal, because trust me, you know how it goes with these models. You're constantly fidgeting with them and getting them right. So I totally get that. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely not in there. Yeah, this servo doesn't feel right anyway, so I don't trust this extension. There's, like I said, there's some chafing and some of the, and so the pins are just pulling out, so that's not safe in my book. So I'm gonna get a new extension too, and well, we can do some QC on that servo later. So let's go ahead and get a new wire. All right, well, luckily that didn't take too long. I found ourselves some servo extensions here, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace those in our wing here. Now, I'm not sure if any of y'all guys are on our follow our farm page, our YouTube channel at Flying H Farms, but we posted it up, and in fact, I'll share the video here in a second. Chicken Girl actually competed for the first time. Let's see, where did I put that servo? Here it is. Chicken Girl actually competed for the first time in horseback riding. I know y'all hear her talking about horses a lot and wondering if she even likes airplanes, which it's kind of funny. But yeah, she did really well for her first time. We were really proud of her. In fact, so here, check it out. That's her doing the barrels. that was pretty cool. Very, very proud daddy moment there, seeing my baby girl doing all that stuff. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so now that we have the servo extension here, let's see if we can get the frustrating part over with, because I was a dum-dum and pulled this through instead of just using it. How many times have you guys done this before, huh? All right, guys, so y'all seen me possibly do this in the past. So, but I've never done it on the actual show. You'll probably always see me do it in fast forward, but I'm gonna show you my little trick here. Now, we live on a farm, so we always have ample amounts of wire around, so that always helps too. But, yeah, before we do that though, let's go, just in case we have to pull it out, we'll do it later. So, this is what we've done in the past, and like I said, we've always done it just kind of in the fast forward segment. We never actually shared it with you guys. So you just get a wire more rigid that way, because you don't have to worry about it bending in the inside, and you just kind of feel your way through. And you always make a hook on one end so you can pull that wire through. There we go. So there you go. You see it goes in and out. And I'm sure some of you seasoned guys already know this, but for anybody that's just joining us or getting into the hobby, and you're wondering, well, how do I do that if the little string breaks or falls out? Because let's face it, some of these models, those little strings that they put there just aren't heavy enough. Okay, and then you just take it, wrap it around your servo lead there, and then just pull it through. Now it's gonna hit every rib as it goes through the inside. Just be patient and just kind of turn your wire, and there it goes. Right on through. See, there it is. So yeah, just be patient with it, turn it around a little bit, because like I said, inevitably, we all know, and you can call me pessimistic or call me what you want, but it is going to hit every rib on the way through, but that's not a big deal for us. These are interesting. I've never seen these servo mounts before, but it's just basically two pieces of metal that go on your either side of the servo tabs there, and then they just bolt right onto the inside of the frame. It's kind of cool. I've never had any experience with these, so if any of you guys had any experience with these kind of servo mounts, let me know, good, bad, the ugly about them, because they seem pretty cool right now. Now it's time to go into my infinite box of bolts and figure out where these. Judging by the difference in hardware throughout this entire model, I would definitely say the guy who had it before me did not get a hardware package with that. And if you're watching, whoever had this model before me, let me know in the comments if you ever received a hardware package, because I would definitely say with all the different kinds of screws and everything in here, it didn't come with one. All right, now it's time to put the cover back on. Okay, so we gotta make this cover just a little bit bigger. That's no problem. I can go do that with my Dremel real fast. All right, guys, we opened that up. So let's pop it on. So E-Flight, or Horizon, whoever, came out with a whole bunch of more sticks. Now, I know you guys like them, how they fly and everything, and I guess the whole point is it's just an ugly plane, so if you can practice with stuff on it and you bash it, so what? But, you know, being a scale guy, I have a really hard time flying anything that isn't like a scale representation of an airplane. And like I said, that's just probably just me, but what do you guys think? Can y'all fly an ugly plane even if it flies good? Because I tell you what, I can't. I mean, I can't even get behind really the sport jets. I had that Phoenix Perceptor jet, which flew amazing, and it was like my favorite flying airplane. But I just didn't enjoy flying it because it wasn't a representation of anything. And maybe that's just to each their own kind of philosophy there, but that's just how I am. So I would love to hear you guys sound off about it, if y'all are like that too, or if I'm just being a snob or or whatnot. All right, so let's try this the lazy way before I get my handy dandy hook out. But you know what? I see it close. So maybe we can go wire fishing. Who doesn't like a little bit of fishing, huh? There we go. Got it through. So what did y'all think, guys, of this thing all lit up? Now, I'm gonna tell you real quickly here that it wasn't 100% lit. We actually have tail logo lights and the tail beacon at the top as well. We just didn't have it all plugged in, and we'll show you guys what that looks like later. We just have to get the elevators installed so we can wire up the tail, and then it'll look real nice. Okay, so we got that guy in. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go harvest some parts from the tail because we're not gonna use these servo mounts in the tail. There's just not enough room because we're upgrading to the 17-gram servo. We're gonna have to come up with something else. So let me go pull one of those off real quick. These are the little brackets that I was talking about. So this end goes into your servo, this end goes onto the airplane. It's actually pretty cool. I've never seen them before, but that doesn't mean anything because I've stayed pretty conventional my entire time doing this stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get one of these servos now. Yeah, it's really shocking to me with how popular or how much attention this airplane has grabbed online, and really the popularity of the King Twin that came out by Avios and what's it? Shoot, I can't think of the name of the hobby company right now. Anyway, yeah, that Twin King or King Twin that came out. Hobby King, that's what it is. Anyway, that airplane's so popular, and shoot, it's been one of my better videos too that I've had out whenever I've flown it. That you know, no one else has come out with more civilian planes like Kingairs, and you know, it seemed like the little Citation by Horizon was really good too. I never owned one because I like big planes. I would love to see a bigger Citation, especially M2 guys. If you're listening out there, I'd love to see an M2. I'm biased, I fly an M2. But yeah, I would love to see more of these corporate airplanes being represented. I mean, this Kingair is just an absolute beauty. And if this thing flies anything like the Twin King or King Twin, it's going to be an amazing airplane for sure. You know, I do like these servo mounts if they hold up better than the other types that just hold underneath the cover. And I tell you why. It's because I think, and I could be flawed in my thinking, a lot of times I am. I'm gonna need to make this one bigger too. Let me go do that real quick. But I'll finish my thought real quick. But you know, like I was having issues with the PC6 with the ones that were underneath popping off. So, you know, maybe this one will hold better because it's not part of this little flimsy piece of wood. So let me go saw this up and I'll be right back. All right, so we got that cut. Let's go ahead and put this up. I think I'm being called right now because people are starting to wake up. So I'm gonna go finish this up, and never fear guys, we're gonna see if this works first, and then we'll call it a day. This little guy should work, I think. I'm only gonna put 2 down because, you know, chances are pretty good I'm gonna have to come back and fix a couple of things. So that's not too big of a deal. We'll, on final assembly day, whenever we're really getting everything ready to go, we will come back and do this. This is definitely not going to be a quick project, guys. This airplane means a lot to me. Like I said, how can you say it means a lot to him if he tried to sell it? But, you know, we all have those freakouts, I'm sure, monetarily speaking anyway. And it's just about getting your head on straight and figuring out which direction you really want to go. All right, so that one's on now. Let me find the control horn. Here it is. Stick this on the flap here. Oh no, it's too small. Okay, real quick here, we're going to go ahead and just open up this hole. Let's see if I can find my X-Acto knife. Now for the moment of truth. Is it gonna work? So we're gonna go ahead and plug this wing in, and then I'm gonna take you over here, guys, and we'll see how it all pans out. And it's backwards. So what I did then is I put a reversed servo in that spot, I think. So because we were dealing with all that reverse servos and all that good stuff, I think that's exactly what's going on. Yep, inboard. So see, that's why we did it this way. So what we're gonna have to do now is we're gonna have to take that servo out, replace it with one of the other ones over there tomorrow or whenever I get a chance to do so. But at least it's working so far, so that's good news in and of itself. So we're gonna take care of that tomorrow, guys. But for this week, we are all done here for this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is just the frustrations of working on models, especially with models that don't have instructions, and we didn't know what the previous guy did. So we're figuring out along with you guys. So please, guys, get your families involved in the hobby. I know they're not here because there's being sleepyheads. And also bring new people into the hobby. That's how we're gonna grow this thing. And please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. We love to hear from y'all, and we'll see you next time. Bye.